So good morning, everybody. You can keep your mics off mute, but you can give me a wave and say good morning and hello. Thank you. As we've just heard, people are joining us from across the country, which is so exciting to hear. Welcome to the Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards. I'm so pleased to be back with you for a second year. My name is Anne-Marie Mediwake, and I host CTV's national morning show, Your Morning, from here in the city of Toronto, where it is Vancouver-like weather today. Lots of rain, pouring rain here today. I am so happy to be back. I had such a great time. I love stories. And so hearing the stories of the award winners was just so powerful last year. I still remember all of them, and I can't wait for you to meet our award winners this year. We are celebrating this year the 10th anniversary of Rise Canada's only national charity that provides people with mental health or addiction challenges a pathway towards sustained self-employment through training, resources, mentorships, and low-interest microloans. And you are joining us on a very special year. This is the first time we've done this event virtually. Lots of firsts this year. And I'll run through very quickly some housekeeping orders of business. Most of you know this already. If you can keep your microphone on mute, that helps us out a lot. Remember, you are on camera, so anything that you do that you might need to, that you wouldn't normally do in person and you don't want us to see, feel free to turn your camera off and then join us back on. If you want to take photographs, you can, and post them please with the hashtag RiseHelps, and that'll get our social media conversation going. You are going to meet an exceptional group of people, and you're going to want to clap and cheer and celebrate along with us. So the best way to do that in this virtual world is by using your celebration icons. Your reactions feature at the bottom of your message will allow you to put up the celebration or the hand clap or the thumbs up, and we encourage any and all of them. If you have questions along the way, or you might want some clarification, you can use our chat function, and we're going to try to get to as many of those questions as we can, and we will do that in the back portion of what's happening today. So without further ado, I want to introduce the chair of the board of directors of Rise, David Smith. He already has his mic turned on and ready to go. Good morning, David.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Good morning, everybody. I am honored to welcome you today on behalf of Rise's Board of Directors. This is our 9th annual ceremony, and it's always one of my favorite events of the year because it's our chance to set aside everything else and simply celebrate the excellence of the Rise community. I'd like to begin first by recognizing my fellow board members. My thanks go out to each one of you for your dedication to helping Rise grow its impact, allowing it to help entrepreneurs across Canada realize their potential. I would also like to applaud the small but mighty staff, a team who freely offer their skills, expertise, and hearts each and every day to propel this amazing organization forward. Next, I'd like to salute the volunteer members of our Loan Review Committee, who review the applications, decide who to invest in, and during this process, share invaluable wisdom to help make our clients' business plans as strong as possible. Thank you all. Another group of heroes is the Rise mentors and the coaches who volunteer their time, knowledge, and experience to help advise and guide our array of skilled and motivated clients. I want to thank each one of you for your admirable investment of yourself, your brilliance, your passion, and your compassion. Most importantly, our organization exists for one purpose. Please join me in sending a thumbs up or celebratory emoji in recognition of Rise's most important asset, our clients. As an organization, we've helped launch over 1,000 dreams. We are nothing without you. You are the dreamers. You are the doers. As Anne-Marie said, 2020 marks 10 years since Rise was founded by our original dreamer, Dr. Sandra Rodman. Were it not for Sandy and her late husband Joe's conviction that all Canadians have potential as entrepreneurs, we would not be here today. For 10 years, they have committed unwavering support to Rise, which is why, in honor of this milestone anniversary, we are proud to dedicate these awards as the Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards in their honor. The Rotman family's vision is the foundation upon which we have built our organization. We are excited to build an even brighter future. We are launching a new strategic plan in January of 2021 that will chart our course to the years to come, and I look forward to sharing with you in the new year more about this. We're in an exciting time in Rise's story, and I thank all of you for being part of it. Now it is my great privilege to pass the screen to the woman tasked with guiding us into the future, our terrific CEO, Laurie Smith.
Thank you, David, and thank you all so much for joining us today. Obviously, we wish that we could be celebrating in person, but I'm absolutely delighted by how many people are here, logged on, and engaged. It's an incredible testament to the supportive community that RISE is, and I'm very, very grateful to all of you. To start, I'd like to offer a heartfelt thanks to our sponsors who, despite the virtual nature of this event, are supporting us this year. Our presenting sponsor is Power Corporation of Canada. Our supporting sponsor is Citibank, and we have Bell Let's Talk as our award sponsor. I also really want to thank Anne-Marie Mediwake because Anne-Marie emceed last year. She's emceeing again this year. She had RISE on a segment of Your Morning earlier this spring. She's a real champion for the organization, and having someone of Anne-Marie's caliber leading this conversation today is a great honor. As she mentioned, and as you all know, RISE is a national charity dedicated to helping people who have experienced barriers to employment because of mental health or addiction challenges achieve financial stability through self-employment. We're the only organization, national organization, that offers our clients specialized resources, training, and access to capital. And in 10 short years, we've grown from one office in Toronto to locations in 4 provinces across Canada. And I'm pleased to tell you that we'll be launching a 5th location in Manitoba in the early new year. We've graduated almost 650 individuals from our training programs, and we've dispersed more than $2 million through 500 small business loans. As David said, we're in the midst of finalizing a new strategic plan that's going to start us along the path of our next 10 years. And although we're forward looking, I'd be really remiss not to dwell a little bit in the present, in these strange times, to celebrate our resilience. Because despite a slowdown in loan applications after the onset of COVID-19 in the spring, we've really begun to recover. And actually in September and October of this year, we surpassed the number of lending applications that we received in the same months last year. As well, after pivoting from in-class to online programs, we're actually seeing a record number of participants in our training programs. That necessary move to virtual operations has proven itself to be more of an opportunity for RISE than the challenge that we initially feared, because moving online has actually enabled us to reach people across the country who we couldn't have reached otherwise. Right now within our training programs, as an example, we're working with aspiring entrepreneurs from BC to Saskatchewan, PEI to the Yukon, and countless communities in between. I'm pleased to tell you that as of September, 67% of our clients were still operating a business in either a full-time or a part-time capacity. And so while the pandemic seems to be shrinking the world, it's in many ways helping RISE expand so that we may reach all Canadians with mental health challenges who want to enrich their lives and communities through entrepreneurship. So with that said, I'm left simply to say congratulations to each of our award winners and honorable mentions. You are the reason that RISE exists, and I thank you very much for continuing to make us stronger each day.
I'm going to clap because my mic is off. Thank you, Lori. That was great. This is the part that we've all been waiting for. This is the presentation of the awards. You're going to get to meet them and find out more about their stories, which is fantastic. Maybe keep some Kleenex nearby because they're very powerful stories, as we found out earlier this week. The Rotman Family Entrepreneurship Awards celebrates the outstanding achievements of individuals who RISE has supported with loans, business advisory services, and mentorship. And each client award winner will receive a $1,000 prize. Just to touch on what Lori was just mentioning as well, I mean, this is an incredible year for anyone in business or anybody who has the extra barrier of sometimes struggling with mental health issues, because the pandemic has made that pressure that much more for everybody. It's made it very challenging, as we all know, for small business. And so accessing the help that RISE provides this year more than ever has been key and has been crucial. And I think all of our award winners can attest to that. I first want to get to the honorable mentions, and I have to tell you, I am told by the award selection committee, it was very difficult to choose this year, but it's a good problem to have because of the increase in volume and the outstanding quality of the applications they received. There was a lot of deliberation. One more thing, it means that RISE clients and volunteers are thriving, and more they are choosing to share their stories with us, which we love to know. Here's, if you take a look at your screen here are the names of our honorable mentions for this year. Donna Murphy Del Sueto, she's from Magic Hour Cross Stitch Supplies. Artist Maddie Charlton. Rebecca Thibault from B&K Boutique. Sandra Williams, Cakes by the Lake, I love that name. Jocelyn Wong, Aster and Lily, and Elita Roturo, Aru Creative and Design. Congratulations to each and every one of you. I would also like to congratulate David Winter, our honorable mention amongst the RISE volunteers for this year. Thank you so much. Let's give them, if we can, a little virtual applause. Fantastic. A little celebration. So good. I'm so honored to be with all of you today. All right. Our first award belongs to the RISE volunteer who has gone above and beyond for RISE clients and the organization. Their tireless dedication to the RISE mission and their contributions to individual clients is a clear example of exemplary service. Ian Wayne fits that description. A London, UK-born, now Ottawa-based professional accomplished in organizational psychology and the human resource tech space, Ian began volunteering with RISE in the spring of 2019 and as a mentor to lending client Krista Ryan. Over the past year and a half, he has provided acute insight and crucial support to Krista in the development of her business, Sassy Threads, another great name. Ian's advice to anyone considering the opportunity to volunteer with RISE is simply and enthusiastically do it. I mean, he could say just do it, but I think Nike coined that one. Please join me in congratulating the 2020 RISE Volunteer of the Year, Ian Wayne. I'm going to give you a little applause. It's so strange to do this and not be able to hear everybody celebrating, but we are celebrating you. Our next award is for an entrepreneur who has started down the path of small business ownership. They have done their homework and diligently planned their launch or relaunch, as the case may be. They've experienced some initial success and have a clear vision of the future. Tammy Mackey owes much of her forward-looking vision to her past. A product of the 60 Scoop, Tammy is an electrical tradesperson turned pastry chef. I love that. And then entrepreneur who launched a pastry consulting company about 2 years ago. After the onset of COVID-19 and a series of revelations about her biological family, Tammy found new passion and purpose in exploring her Indigenous roots. Raven Rising is Tammy's new e-commerce startup where she combines her excellence as a pastry chef with her heritage as a proud Ojibwe from the White Bear First Nation in Saskatchewan to create global Indigenous chocolates and pastries that showcase traditional ingredients sourced from Indigenous peoples in Canada and around. Please join me in congratulating the 2020 Bell Let's Talk Startup Award recipient, Tammy Mackey. I'm like, applause of one, Tammy. I hope you can see everybody celebrating you. I'm going to move on to our next award, and I'm so excited that you guys are a little bit, in just a couple of minutes, you're going to get a chance to hear from the winners themselves. Our next award is dedicated to the entrepreneur who has overcome significant barriers and challenges in their personal and professional life. They have grit and perseverance, and they do not take no for an answer. They are resilient, and to meet Elizabeth Tremblay is to understand the true definition of that word. A little over 1 year ago, Elizabeth was introduced to RISE by a counselor who suggested that she enroll in an entrepreneur training program. And as a woman living with anxiety and depression who was working to get herself out of homelessness at the time, the program opened up a world of skill building, mentorship, and empowerment to Elizabeth that proved to be the catalyst to her business, Mentor Mentee Canada. Focused on developing peer support as a service and employment opportunity for people who have the lived experience of homelessness, in her first year as an entrepreneur, Elizabeth has been building her connections and her leadership to influence change in the shelter system, and change is needed. To quote Elizabeth, homeless people, the vulnerable, are so powerful because we have such incredible resilience. So true. We are proud to award this year's Dr. Paul Garfinkel Resilience Award to Elizabeth Tremblay. And Elizabeth, I just realized, can you give, I don't know if everyone can see the names at the bottom, if you can give a wave, just a wave. There you are. Congratulations. That's great. And now I would like to invite a very special guest to take over the screen and share a few words and to present our last award of the day, the Rotman Family Entrepreneur of the Year. It is my great honor to introduce Dr. Sandra Rodman.
Thank you, Anne-Marie, and congratulations to all RISE clients. RISE was a beautiful idea that became a reality. With the encouragement of my husband, Joe, and Dr. Paul Garfinkel, RISE was born. In a collaboration between the Rotman School of Management and the CAMH, the program provides those with mental health and addiction challenges with meaningful work through self-employment by providing them with microfinancing, education, and mentorship. We are proud to celebrate our 10th anniversary this year. I am honored and privileged to be associated with this incredible venture. It is now with great pleasure I announce the Rotman Family Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And this year, it goes to an exceptional individual who has demonstrated more than once that with the right support, talent, and dedication, a person can overcome mental health challenges and thrive through entrepreneurship. At 16 years old, Zuberi Attard was struggling with homelessness, mental health, and addiction challenges when a friend took him in to help him get back on track at school and get a job. Thanks to the support of teachers, mentors, and friends, Zuberi received a number of scholarships to attend university, where he realized his opportunity to pay it forward. Discovering that millions of dollars of scholarship money goes unclaimed every year, he was inspired to start Fund Key, a business to help match students with relevant grants, bursaries, and scholarship opportunities. Support from RISE has helped Zuberi weather mental health challenges during his entrepreneurial journey, which now includes an online platform that will help this Entrepreneur of the Year scale its service to students across Canada. He is a tremendously inspiring young man who personifies the potential that Joe and I hope to unleash through RISE. Please join me in congratulating the 2020 Rotman Family Entrepreneur of the Year, Zuberi Attard.
Congratulations to all of our award winners. Thank you so much, Sandra. What I love, and at 10 years, it's really great to point this out, what I really love about this program is it took somebody who said, I can see where the barriers are and I can see how to remove them, and did it. It has changed so many lives, and I know that you know that, and our award winners have experienced that firsthand. And I'm so excited to let everybody meet them and hear their stories. This is my favorite part. This is my wheelhouse. We ask questions and get great answers and good stories. Here's our Q&A, and just a reminder, if you have any questions, we are going to do our best to get to all of them. Please use your chat function. I know that Erin is monitoring some of them as well, and I will do my best to write them down as I find them. We're going to ask our 4 award winners to unmute if you can. And please remember, if you do have a question along the way, to submit it. And so without further ado, let's start with our first question, which is, what inspired you to start your business? And describe for us what you are most proud of in your journey as an entrepreneur. Zuberi, I'm going to start with you.
So it was my second year out of homelessness at 18, and I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't see a future for myself. But I had dreams. I wanted to go to university. I wanted a normal life. So I worked 2 jobs. I was doing school full time. I did everything I could, but I never had enough money. I didn't have $1,200 to hire a scholarship coach to find me the right scholarships and to help me apply. I didn't have an extra 20 hours a week because I was working so much to look for these opportunities. It wasn't until around 13 people got together and reached out to me and said, teachers and parent and bosses just said, we're going to help you, Zveri, because we know that you're struggling right now. And wow, I didn't realize I'd be this emotional, but it was because of them that I was able to go to university and I'm here today. It was because of that support system. It was a miracle. My story, what happened to me, was a miracle. Scholarships didn't just change my life, it saved my life. And that's when other students started asking me for help. Other students out there needed miracles too, but I couldn't help everyone. And it sucked because I had to see some people fall through the cracks. And then I said, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to live in a society where there's support out there for people. There is enough support. Like you said earlier, there's millions of dollars going unclaimed. There is support out there, but there isn't an accessible bridge to get that support to the right people. And that's what inspired me to do it. Because I just, after a few sleepless nights, I was like, all right, let's create that accessible bridge. And what I'm most proud of is my team who worked tirelessly, and I'm not, maybe I shouldn't say this, sometimes without even, the best pay in the world. They worked tirelessly for years to make this bridge. This bridge is no longer a dream, and I'm so proud of my team for making this bridge accessible to 28,000 students right now. So yeah, and and without Rise, I wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Really quickly, Zuberi, what are you most proud of?
In short, I am most proud of, I don't know how to say this without sounding cliche, of my dream, I guess, becoming a reality. Like I just wanted a support system to exist that would help students, edit their applications and find them the right opportunities, but, something else affordable. And I guess I'm just proud that after 5 years of just grinding and trial and error, that it actually exists now. So I'm just proud of my team. I'm most proud of my team, I guess, and what we've built.
I love that. I love that you had people bridging that gap for you, and you are now a bridge builder too. I think it's such a fantastic idea. Again, it's seeing where the need is, but needing somebody to be able to fill that need. And you did that for thousands, Zuberi. So great. Let's bring in Elizabeth. Same question for you. What inspired you to start your business, and what are you most proud of?
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be among you. And I am so very proud to show you my new home behind me. Very new. I was supposed to be at Mainstay Housing, where I'm a peer supporter and supportive housing today. And instead, I'm very glad to be coming to you from here. When I was 20, I wished I had a mentor. My pathway in life would have been so much easier, healthier, happier, without the stress and crisis that I endured as a person of lived experience of homelessness, mental health illness, and going through the legal justice system. But in my fall into homelessness, I found Rise as a client of Elizabeth Fry. And because of Rise, I also found myself at the Rotman School of Business at the University of Toronto. And that was one of the proudest moments of my life. And I've lived a long time, so that's saying something. And I became an entrepreneur, not the worthless homeless person that I was. And as an entrepreneur, the proudest moment for me has been, after all the push, the overwhelming work of driving peer support value and understanding in an industry that hadn't learned much about the quantitative and qualitative impact of peer support on homelessness recovery, that leaders in homelessness and out of incarceration sectors started to do what I was hoping they would. That is collaborating with people with lived experience of complex homelessness, listening to us and learning from us, and not only letting us know we were heard, but that this was our work together that was going to end depression and stigma of being the vulnerable homeless. And instead, that we were going to be involved in the leadership of major systems change, and that being employed and paid equitably to do so would be a part of that involvement as peer supporters and peer mentors and peer program developers. The proudest moment was being a part of this collective effort with my entrepreneurship at what I consider a very grassroots and movement level. It is exciting.
Elizabeth, can you touch on what you are most proud of?
Really being a part of what I believe is recovery and systems change right now. Truly, that is my proudest moment of being here at the right place at the right time with my peer support and peer leadership and driving peer employment, doing that.
Elizabeth, I could have just burst into tears when you said, I want to start off by showing you my new home. I think that in and of itself is a really powerful statement. And I also, you know, in doing stories and in interviewing people who are experiencing homelessness, the theme that comes up a lot is either not being seen or not being heard. And the fact that you are now making sure that voices are heard, that you are seen and you are heard, and making sure that others have that same experience is just absolutely incredible. I'm so grateful that you're here sharing your story. Let's bring in Tammy Mackey. I want to hear your story and share with everybody what inspired you to start your business and what you are most proud of in your journey.
Hey, hi, everyone. Kind of different. Yeah, it's really, sorry, it's different for me. It's kind of overwhelming, but weird. And my cat is acting really weird, I think, with all of that. She's wondering why I'm talking. So she's just everywhere. She's driving me batty. Anyways, so my life has always been kind of surrounded by entrepreneurship. My father we owned an electrical contracting business. And when I was quite young, the high school went on strike, and my mother said, well, you're not going to sit around and do nothing. So I got sent to work with my father, which I adored anyways. And I worked full time. They even created a special job category for me anyways. But I saw what it was like to own your own business. He was up at 4 a.m. to do the books, and then worked all day, and then came back home, and the weekends were sorting materials and everything. But he never complained. He never, it was always a joy with him. And I grew up with that, and I wanted to emulate that quite a bit. And when I got older, I opened up my own electrical contracting company down in Thorold. And I found a nice little niche market, and I did heritage buildings. But electricity wasn't really my passion. I would work a very long day, and then I would go home and I would bake. I've baked probably every friend's wedding cake, and all of the celebratory anniversary, birthdays, whatever. I have to make food for everybody. It's just part of what I do. And then my midlife crisis, and I switched careers. And entrepreneurship never leaves you. It's ingrained in you. And it was a pretty natural progression for me to learn everything I could. And I knew that I'm not made to work for other people. I need to work for myself. I can't have my creativity stopped, or it sends me on a tailspin. So I need to really kind of push myself. If somebody else pushes me, then I'm just like, whoa, that's not how it's going to work in my life. So yeah, it's, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. So yeah. That's.
Tammy, you worked for years in the electrical trade, and then you switched to your love language, which is baking and making for people. You worked in some of the best hotels and the best bakeries in the country. Tell us about the inspiration behind Raven Rising in particular.
So
And the name.
I am Indigenous. Ravens are actually my spirit animal. And I used to be married to a very lovely Ojibwe man. And we were out in the forest and we were cutting trees. And I had an interaction with a bird. I know people are like, oh, but it's true. He was gone to get the chainsaw, and I looked up and there was a big white bird staring down at me with a man's face, and it didn't say anything, and at the time I didn't really think it was that strange. It was just kind of, oh, you know, that's really interesting kind of thing. And I came home and I went through all of these books and everything, and the closest I could find to that bird was a white raven, and even the face. Anyways, I know I should have talked to a medicine man, but I'm still kind of discovering my indigenousness. So I'm a little bit frightened, but the Raven Rising to me shares my vision, shares my spirit guide. And rising, it's like the phoenix rising. So I've been luckily reborn.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you, Tammy. I want to turn next to Ian, and I'm going to swipe my page so I can see you, Ian. There you are. As a volunteer, you personify the support system that goes far to help empower RISE clients in their journeys. I want to know about how you became a RISE volunteer and what the experience has been like for you so far. I know lots of people are curious about that too.
Sure, thanks. Morning, everybody. Yeah, I guess it was about 18 months ago. I was looking online for volunteer opportunities. There's some great listing sites that kind of aggregate all those opportunities. And I came across an opportunity to be a business mentor. And right away, that sounded interesting to me. It sounded like something I could do and enjoy. But I hadn't heard of RISE, and so I started looking at who is this organization, what are they about? And then I was really hooked. I really loved the vision, the values of the organization. It's a tremendous organization. So then I really knew that I wanted to be a part of it. I applied. It was a very straightforward process to apply. Great efficiency, great resourcing. They really connected me very quickly with the client, and some really good resources to help me. So that just made the experience for me getting involved in the organization really straightforward and really easy to incorporate into my working life. So it's been a tremendous experience. I think you're on mute, Anne-Marie.
Well, that's bad when the moderator doesn't follow the rules. Okay, I want to ask you this because this came up as a theme last year when I had a chance to meet so many great volunteers in person. And the common theme was a couple. One, what they learned, and I'll ask you to answer that in a second. But the first one was they made it easy for me to mentor, because I think a lot of times the desire is there for people, but they worry about time commitment. How can I find the right person? What does it even look like? And I know your experience with RISE has been really positive. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, and I was amazed actually to that question, you know, how easy it was to get involved. The application process was smooth. It has not been overwhelming. It's been the opposite. It's been something that's been really easy to fold into, you know, my work. I'm quite busy on that front. And they've got tremendous resources as well that really help. So, you know, I had a few questions at the outset about what I could contribute, you know, even though I was interested in it, when I really have something to bring. And they made it very easy, a tremendous job. Whoever on the staff is involved in helping to set that up, I applaud you, because you really made it easy for me, and then I assume for other volunteers as well to get involved in the organization and contribute. Well done.
Even talking to you, I can see how energized you are by it. And I know a lot of that comes from what you receive and what you learn from who you're mentoring. Can you describe a little bit about some of the lessons that you've learned?
Sure, there's a range of things. I mean, it's a whole domain, Sassy Threads, something I don't know anything about. So there's learning on that side of it. But, you know, on a personal level, something I'd like to highlight, I've been thinking about this, is about having an open mind. And that's something that I've been, you know, I think hopefully learning as I go through this process. In my day job, for example, I'm often involved in setting the definition of success, you know, what the team is working towards. But as a RISE business mentor, it's different. It's not my definition of success, it's the client's definition of success that we're working with. So recognizing where my assumptions, you know, what I bring to that, and being open to my client's definition is, you know, really a valuable part of my development, I think. And that's one thing that's really interesting for me.
Oh, that's great to hear. Elizabeth, I want to check back in with you. Your work in peer support is tied very closely to mentorship. We can tell by the name of your business, Mentor Mentee Canada. What's been unique for you about the experience of working with a RISE volunteer coach?
Well, their leadership, by the fact that they were leaders. We were just beginning, but my mentors were powerful women who had gone far in their careers. They were lawyers and major fund developers and teachers. And whether they were gracefully sitting with us as a small group, teaching us about social media app communication, or sledging it over to the roughest area of Parkdale to meet with another executive director and help champion me with their sponsorship. They demonstrated leadership through their willingness to serve absolute beginners who would one day be successful. And that is true leadership, the weaker learning from the stronger, and a vision that I carried forward with me into Mentor Mentee Canada, to a system that I've learned, like them, we can be unique and think outside of the box like they did, but we have to find our way in that system to make our mark with others, not against others. Whether it be in the legal world, in the street, in the homeless shelters, or in a large supportive housing organization, not one of them looked at me as my background, being a client of Elizabeth Fry and going through the legal system, but that I was starting over and going to do it differently and carefully to slowly rebuild a life. And they supported that fully and certainly did all they could to elevate it.
I love that you took all of that leadership that was given to you and that you are also now providing it with your clients as well. And I also love that piece of the conversation, Elizabeth, where you felt as an equal. And that says a lot about the team that you were paired with, as well as what you were able to see in yourself, that it was already there. They're seeing what's already there, but sometimes it can be a challenge to see it in ourselves, and they really helped you to be able to see that as well. We've had a question from Lauren, and Lauren, if you can hang on for a second, I want to bring in Zuberi next, because his question might answer what your question is. My question to him is, you are a mentor of sorts as well. You match students to relevant funding opportunities. Something you used to do, I love that you used to do this on a sheet of paper from memory, and then, you know, cut to this year, and you've grown by more than 4,000% with FundKey. The mental health challenges don't disappear. We all know whether there's ups or downs. What's your advice to other aspiring entrepreneurs on how to manage the downs?
The first thing that I would say, and I don't know what every entrepreneur is going through right now, but this is what I would say to myself. And I would probably yell this at myself: get help. You know, stop banging your head against the wall. You don't have all the answers, and you don't need all the answers. Do what you can to get, like for me, I called 211. I got a counselor, right? They helped me find a free counselor when I needed counseling. And I was very fortunate. I tried to get involved in every mentorship program I could. Like for me, here's actually something else I would say. You need an Ian in your life, okay? You need an Ian. For me, we were very fortunate. We had Brett, Brett Merriman, that's who we had through RISE. And I basically built a support team. It took me a while because in the beginning I was kind of like, oh, I can figure it out on my own. Or when someone would say, it's going to be really hard to figure this out on your own, Zuberi, you know, what that would mean to me is like, oh, so I can still figure it out. But I never really understood that it's okay to have a team. It's okay to have a support team, right? Right. And when it just kind of sunk in that you just have to realize, whoever's out there, it's like anything that was built, any great thing that was ever built, any great company was never built alone. So go out there and get that help. Get help. Oh, and one more thing. There's
Yes.
a free 10-day meditation retreat called Vipassana. It's a sound meditation retreat that did wonders for me. Honestly, I would recommend that too. Side note.
I love that, getting help. I'm going to read Lauren's question, but I'm going to just have Zuberi and Elizabeth think about it for just a second while we get Tammy to share another question. Here's Lauren's question to you. It's a great one. As an entrepreneur, you encounter many no's. What advice do you give to others who are scared off or discouraged by the no? How do you get over the bump to achieve your success? Both of you think about that, Elizabeth and Zuberi. And Tammy, I have this question for you, which is, you were already an established pastry chef. You owned a consulting company, and then COVID hits. You pivoted to e-commerce. You launched Raven Rising. What strategies did you use for coping with the pandemic and for seeing an opportunity in it?
Food. You don't get to see my COVID body right now, but oh my goodness. Yeah, it was, you know, I'm sure everybody's life was just vastly affected by what's going on, and the world is still a strange place. But, you know, businesses saw everything dry up overnight, as did I. All of the weddings, all the catering that I've had booked, the brides were panicking, and it was just, it was a complete and utter shock. You think that you're prepared for things to happen, and then something like this, which is just so monumental, happens. So it kind of, it rocked me back for a while, and I wasn't sure what to do. I wasn't sure if I should just give up and close, and then I went, yeah, right. You're going to go nuts completely if you're not doing something. I need that creativity output all the time. If I'm not doing it, I'm unhappy. So my brain started formulating, what can I do differently to take what I've learned from these past 2 years and to build something hopefully very successful on that. And, you know, finding out about my Indigenous roots and my family, I really wanted to incorporate the entirety of myself into this business. You know, so I incorporated, I am not one for paperwork, and you know, Zuberi says you need help. Well, I do, and I did reach out to Rise, and I went, oh my God, I'm just going nuts, and and then they messaged me back, and then by then I had it pretty much under control, and I went, oh my God, I did a panic moment, but thank you, like, you know. And they said, well, if you need it, we're here, and just that little bit of, you know, like, we're here, and it was in the back of my mind, okay, I'm not completely alone, I can do this, all of this groundwork. So e-commerce to me makes sense. Number one, I don't have a $500,000 kitchen. I can't afford a $500,000 kitchen. I'm just starting out, you know, so I rent kitchens that are health unit approved kind of thing. So I need to think in a kind of different way. So no storefront, e-commerce during this uncertain time is definitely the way to go. You know, so it's pivotal, yeah, but it took me 3 months to pivot, and you know, it's a lot of work, and I just actually opened officially in mid-October. So I'm still in the nail biting kind of, is this really gonna pan out for me? You know, did I do all of this for nothing? But I'm just going to stick with it, because that's just, you know, what entrepreneurs are made to do, right?
Yeah, that's true. I am amazed by entrepreneurs always, that they're always looking, they see the crisis, they feel the crisis, and their instinct is to then turn it into an opportunity. It's just how all of your brains work. Back to being entrepreneurs, if you guys want to, I'll start, Zuberi, with you. And that was the question that came in from Lauren about, how do you handle the no's? What do you do?
So when I heard the word no, and when I was reflecting back, I thought, so there's many types of no's, and here's kind of my summary to address them. There's a no as in, I made this product, I tried to sell it, and it's not really catching on. There's a no of you trying to recruit someone and someone says, no, I wouldn't work with you. You know what I mean? There's many types of no's, and basically for a general way to address them, here's kind of my formula. So number one, I try to analyze, what am I trying to attack, right? What am I trying to get a yes out of, and where's the no coming from? Are they saying no? Like, I'll just make an example, right? When I was actually, it was funny. I was trying to seek mentorship from someone, and when he sat down with me, because I was like, oh, I don't know anything about business. I need some help. This is my early days. And I was just starting to get some clients. I had around 100 at that point. And he sat down with me and he said, Zabari, this is a waste of my time. You should quit this. You should give this up and you should go get a job. Like, you're never going to make this happen. And quite frankly, I only want to speak with people who have $1 million ideas. My idea, my plan, because what I was doing before, I would stand in the hallways with Timbits and yell at students in the hallway and try to get them to come over to sign up for my scholarship program. And I said, oh, well, I could just make more Zabaris and put them all over the country. And he said, no, you need a technology platform. I bit my tongue in that moment, and I was so mad. I was like, how dare he? And then I was like, you know what? He's right. So then I decided to change my strategy, and I went back to him, and then I got that support. So and then another thing is, sometimes people will tell you no, and it's really important to see where it's coming from. Are they telling you no, right? And depends on what it is, because they want to take you down and they don't want you to succeed? Or are they telling you no because you're just not giving them the right thing? No doesn't mean it's the end of the road. It just means you need something different most of the time. So really analyze that because, and here's the thing, those no's give you the biggest, or like they have the biggest opportunities inside of them. So I could keep going on, but that's my summary right there.
I love that. Analyze the no. Where does it come from? My mom used to always tell me, no is just on backwards. So you just got to figure out how to take the no and use it to make it into a yes. Elizabeth, your response to how do you handle the no's?
Oh, well, I loved your answer, Zabari, and thanks for that. But yeah, I love a challenge. So I was lucky to be taught by the great Catherine at the Rotman School of Business. And I had a teacher who taught me in business what to do if you receive a no. So she said that you go around a problem and you come back to it later. You go to your champions, and they are going to help you with those who are underneath maybe your champions to help you negotiate a yes. And also, I'd like to quote a peer supporter who I greatly admire named Marty Daly. And she says, in a system, when you're trying to make change, you don't do this, you don't do this, which a system does, like marionette dolls. You do this, very tactfully, very tactfully. So yeah, just trying to be influential in a way that is creative, like Zabari says, and trying to work with whatever we have, maybe by pivoting strategically, but certainly to try to work with that challenge and make that no and on.
Yeah. And Tammy, how about you? What do you do when you get a no?
I don't listen at all, ever. It's really not in my vocabulary, and I think that's why I'm an entrepreneur, because I've heard it so often in that hotel and restaurant industry setting. You know, I was the executive pastry chef of some very large resorts, and it's just, you know, no, and you have to think within this box. And for me, there's not even a box. Like, I don't just think outside the box. There is no box. So, you know, please don't tell me no, because I'm still thinking about that until it comes to, you know, it comes out in a pastry, or it comes out on my plate, or it's a flavor combination. Until I'm finished with it, you know, there is no. So yeah, that's my answer.
I love that. You just turn up your own volume even louder. I think that's great. Ian, I want to check in with you. We haven't heard from you for a bit. What advice would you give to a new volunteer who's starting out as a mentor or a coach?
Sure. Well, I'm still relatively new to this, so I'm figuring it out, you know, as I go, I think. But the number one thing, if you are thinking about getting involved as a volunteer, is to get involved. Email, reach out to RISE. They do a phenomenal job. They will really help you through that process of getting involved with the organization. They have great resources to do that as well. So nothing, just take that one message away. Please get involved. You've heard some great stories here today, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of and to contribute to. It really is.
They're so great. I love hearing from all the award winners. Last question for everybody, and I'll give you each about a minute to respond, and that'll keep us on time for today. Everybody in our audience is a member of the RISE community. They're committed to supporting entrepreneurs. So what has been, if you can summarize for everybody, and this is your moment to let them all know what RISE has meant to you, but what has been the impact of RISE in your life? And Zuberi, I'll start with you.
Oh, wow. It's too bad we don't have a couple of years to talk. But RISE, it's impacted me in so many ways. Once again, I found myself a period of time when I really needed help. I didn't have anywhere else to go, and every time I needed that, we try to get that support, we would get the reaction like a doctor who, I don't know, was looking at a really bad chart. You know, he's like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. It looks like you're going to be dead in a few weeks. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And I was like, well, maybe this isn't going to work, you know, and maybe that's it. And I was really, really, really on my last straw. Like, I was really struggling. I didn't really have anything. It's a bit embarrassing, but even at the time, I could barely afford another pair of pants. That's how much money and effort we put in the business. So RISE, when RISE gave us that extra push, which is exactly what we needed to do that campaign to get you know, all these students on board, we really got our second chance. So RISE, to me, the impact, I think, to me, it's given me hope. It's made me feel dignified and proud, because you know what, I'm not a lost cause, and that's what RISE showed me. It showed me that I'm not a lost cause.
That's really powerful. Tammy, do you want to jump in there? What's been the impact of RISE in your life?
So RISE, and I want to say hi to Ann Cooper, who helped me tremendously. When I walked in that office the first time, I didn't know what I was doing. I know I had an idea, and I didn't even know if it was worth anything. I just knew that I wanted to get it out, and Anne and RISE really helped me. Like, just, they made my idea valid. And it wasn't, I've heard, you know, oh, you're just being silly. Why do you want to do this? You could earn so much money being an executive pastry chef. Yeah, you can, and you can be so unhappy doing something that's not really what you want to do. So when I smile, when I'm making something, that's what RISE. I brought my Kleenex.
Good.
That's what RISE has allowed me to do, to become happy with who I am.
Wow. Elizabeth, we're going to end with you. What's the impact of Rise been for you?
Thanks, Tammy. I feel very much the same about Rise. For me, the word Rise says it all. Rise, empowering people, launching ideas. Now I know, because you said, Anne-Marie, how many of us that's happened for. And I'm one of those many who was at rock bottom, and you lifted me up and made a recovery possible and a new life possible, greater than my wildest dreams. And in the end, you are still raising me up and helping me change and grow and believing in me that I can do that. You gave me my family back. I continued on a path that showed them that I could be independent and take care of myself, be healthy, stable, and well. And they thank you as I do.
Oh, you guys, what an incredible way to spend an hour today. You know, things can feel dark and they can feel like there's not a lot of hope, but I'm telling you, all of your stories give all of that and more. And I'm so honored to have met all of you today and have been invited back. I mean, it's so much more than even just business help for anybody who's watching from the Rise community. It is, as Elizabeth said, you give me my family back. You validate me, like Tammy pointed out, and you tell me I'm not a lost cause, like Zuberi said. So incredible. Thank you all. We're going to wrap for today because we want to make sure that we stay on time. But I would encourage you, if you'd like to learn more about Zuberi, Elizabeth, or Tammy, or Ian, their stories are all on the website, risehelps.ca. You know, of course, we all wish that we could be together in person to do a standing ovation, to give you a hug and tell you thank you for your vulnerability and your honesty today, and congratulations. If you want, hit your chat function and send all the emojis that you can. It's been a real honor to celebrate with you all today. I want to thank you for having me back. A reminder to everybody, please check out risehelps.ca. And as Lori mentioned, if you feel inspired to do more, please visit to become a friend of Rise, or check out the Rise Holiday Marketplace. Oh, this is really important. Check out the Rise Holiday Marketplace. It's an online shop from 50 or more local Canadian vendors who are Rise clients. Listen, it is lockdown. We all need to be doing the online shopping. So do the online shopping at the marketplace at risehelps.ca. Support a local business, support our Rise community. Thank you again, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you next year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Anne-Marie, thank you so much. You are absolutely wonderful, and we're so honored to have you with us today. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. And I just want to say one more thing before we left. I just wanted to say, because we're not in a room right now together, thank you so much for everyone out here who's really supported us. Thank you to the Rise team. Thank you to Aaron, Lori, Diana, and everyone on the Rise team. And the people who supported and donated to Rise and created this program. Thank you, Sandra Rodman. I can't transmit the feeling that I have right now to you, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world right now. Thank you so much for your support. Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Be well, take care. Check out risehelps.ca. Thanks, everyone.